Welcome to what I hope is another exciting Fiction Friday review. This week I'm actually reviewing United as One, which is by Pittacus lore. It's part of the Lorian Legacies. I've actually already reviewed one of them, and I've done a number of written reviews on Goodreads.com, but this is only the second one that I've actually reviewed for one of these once I started it. So let's get into it. What I first want to say is this is the last book of this series, and as with many series that many of us have read, the ending is not always what we hope it would be. In regards to United as One, I can happily say that this is not the case. The review I did for The Fate of 10 was a bit lackluster because honestly I wasn't a huge fan of the book. I kind of felt like nothing really happened. I mean, yes, there were some things that occurred, but for the most part there was a small battle in New York, then there was a small battle at this field out in Mexico where there was a temple for the Lorians. Other than that though, not a lot happened. And when you feel that way from reading a book, it kind of makes it to where it's not all that exciting, not that memorable, honestly. Again though, it was not the case with United as One. I can happily say that this book was a tremendous ending to this series. Not all books in this series were actually created equal, as I can clearly attest to with The Fate of 10, but United as One really kept me going. I mean, I could not put this book down. There have been books that I've read where it's taken me weeks, if not maybe even a month or two, to get through, obviously depending on how long the book is. My copy of United as One was 449 pages, and I got through it in about 4 or 5 days. Granted, I don't have as much time to devote to reading as I would like, because just like many of you, I have to work, and then I have to write more books, and I'm also in school at the same time, so it makes it a little difficult to find time, but you always find time for what you're passionate about, which I'm passionate about reading. So I was able to blow through this book very quickly, and I've actually been done with it for a little while now. I've been waiting to be able to refilm this for you. So let's get into the meat of the book, and as always, spoilers ahead. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get to it. One of the things I was curious about with The Fate of 10 was whether Sarah, who actually died right at the end of that, would actually stay dead. All too often in books where there's superpowers or aliens involved, nobody really dies, nobody stays dead, they always end up coming back. I was actually quite happy with this series that each person who did actually die stayed that way. It's not that I'm all about death and destruction, but you understand that there's risks at stake when somebody can actually die and stay that way. It's not like in comic books where if somebody dies, give it a year and they're back alive again for some reason or another, or they never actually died to begin with. So with this series, luckily, there was a finality to when people actually ceased to exist. So Sarah didn't come back, and that meant that Four, who is one of the main characters of the entire series, had to deal with her loss. Much of this book, he's not the same character that he was. He was dealing with everything that he's gone through in the previous books, as well as losing the woman he loves. And just like many other people who have felt loss, he had to figure out how to deal with that. Now, the way he dealt with it was a bit self-destructive. He went off on his own many times with no care as to his life. He just had his mission. He was going to get it done. Devil may care. All his friends who also lost Sarah were at the same time having to deal with the possibility of losing Four for the way he was acting and his recklessness. Something else that happened at the end of Fate of 10, 6, one of the female characters of the book, who's actually been around since the first I Am Number 4, she was able to hurt Pittacus, who is the main baddie in this. Using her telekinesis, 6 was able to launch objects at Pittacus, with one of them actually penetrating deep into his chest right around his heart. He actually spent the majority of the book trying to get over that, and so he wasn't around much as he was trying to heal. As he's viewed as a religious figure and a god, the rest of the Mogadorians, with his absence, they actually had a bit of civil unrest and almost started a war amongst themselves as they tried to deal with where he was and whether they could come up as leaders to replace him. This played into our heroes' hands as they were able to steal one of the Mogadorian warships and use it to their advantage to actually attack the base where Pittacus had been hiding. Now, I don't want to give away the exact ending because, of course, I'm sure some of you would actually want to read this book if you haven't already. But what I will say is there was a very exciting battle between Pittacus and the rest of the characters as they attacked the base where he has been hiding. As I already said, I kept turning those pages. I could not put this book down. Any minute I wasn't in the middle of something else, any of my other responsibilities, I had this book in my hand flipping those pages. Now, unlike some other books that I've reviewed recently, the ending didn't just kind of stop flat. After what happened, it does go into the future a little bit and give you a little play-by-play as to where everyone is at now, how they've been doing, and how they're continuing their life after the war has ended. I thought this was a very great way to go out. It actually kind of lets you get that ending piece that some books are missing out. It lets you get closure, as it were. And even though in books like this you usually understand, the good guys are supposed to do this, the bad guys are supposed to do this, I was actually happy that there are a number of twists and turns in here that you actually don't see coming. You read enough of these books and you pretty much see around every corner before you even get there, but the writers of this series have actually done very well, and this book does not disappoint. So, that's United as One. Go check it out. In the meantime, if you can give this video a like, a thumbs up, maybe even give me a subscribe and a follow, that'd be greatly appreciated. I love to hear from people who enjoy reading books, and I want to know what you guys think of this book if you've read it, and anything else you're delving into as well. And if you go to jdmartinbooks.com, you can buy your very own Fiction Friday t-shirt. I also have a Reading is Power shirt, something I'm actually a big fan of. And finally, you can get the latest information on me and my next book coming out April 4th, entitled The Warbringer. I hope you guys pick it up. Thanks for watching.